Alright, so this is my second draw along video, and I've decided that today we're going to paint a frog. Now, I haven't painted a frog before, so we're going to start by sketching out the 3 reference images I've found, and then I'm going to choose one of those that I'm going to redraw inside of my watercolor paint sketchbook, and then I'm going to paint it. Let's get started. Alright, listen this up, open, oh, it's upside down. Whoops. That was for my last video. And here we are. Got like a lip there, and then it goes, it's kind of just a straight line. It looks like it's curved, but it really is just more of a straight line until it gets to that point there. Down, down, and across to meet that spot. And it's kind of got that part there, that part there, which is more shadowed than anything. It's not really drawn in with harsh lines. The eyelid's going like that. It's kind of like level with another one over here. The fact that it requires me to draw 2 very good circles is going to be harder. In fact, that part might just kill me. Let's place the circles first, and then we'll start drawing the eyelids on top. I'm doing that in line with the mouth. And about there, probably. I need to practice drawing my spheres more often. It's kind of cut off with a lumpy bit like that. Alright, this is certainly something. Now, there. Comes back in here and traces around to the mouth. Okay. That's kind of stupid. Okay, that's just too long. And that can be fixed like that. Frog leg goes over here and then down and then across here and then down. Maybe I should have done some practice sketches of this before I started recording. Everything comes to meet about here, which means that the legs are too long. The legs can only go down to about here. I so hope color can save this when I paint it. Kind of like that, and like that, down, and diagonal. These are supposed to be overlapping, so I'm not doing big enough. It's like it's supposed to go to there, and then bulbousy, and then there we go. Over here we've got one toe is slightly overlapping over here. The other one is not overlapping at all. It ends over here. This will need to come closer to about here, then across and down to meet over here. Okay, that part is somewhat done. There's something else over here, which will be easy to do with colour because I don't need details, I'm just splodging colour in. And now we've got the other leg, which is kind of like that. Smaller side one there, and something over here. Okay, another toe over here. Yep. Frog 1. Frog 2, we're going to start by drawing the circles for the eyes, and then we'll draw everything else from here. They look to be about that far apart. The nose is kind of like this, going into holes right there and there. Right, they're definitely close to each other. These circles aren't even the same size. That and that. I've got the circles here and here. Ugh. Okay. I think I'm only going to sketch 2 frogs instead of 3 because this is the bane of my existence. This will be the only time I ever paint a frog, I swear. Bang. Definitely has its arm come up and dig into its face here. But then its face digs into its arm. Absolutely perfect. A masterpiece, if you do ask me. Which you should, because I'm in a completely unbiased party. This one was easier, and so I want to do it, but that one's just so cute, even demented as it is. Alright, we're gonna do number 1. And we gonna ruin one of these lovely pages. Need my pencil case. What color are we using today? We're not using that color. Brown. Yeah, okay, we'll use brown for the frog. Why not? This ain't happening without my sketch as a reference. Well, how did I do that? Circle. And a circle. These are not the same. Okay, if I've learned anything from this today, it's that I really need to practice drawing circles of the same size next to each other. Now I want the mouth to be kind of curved like this. That is not creepy at all. I don't know what you're talking about. It looks perfectly fine. That starts there. It looks so stupid. Okay. There, and then it continues down, there, down. Going down, but not too far down because that's our limit. Alright, then we need one toe to come up to here and one toe to come up to here. This one comes out more like that, and then down, around, up, knuckle it there. Not too far away is that, which raises up into that. And all of that gets to be pretty little smishmash of colors. One toe is going to go down to there, another's going to stop up here, and another's going to stop about here. This is exactly what a frog looks like. You believe this, right? I completely forgot the existence of dynamics and straight logs when making this. It's going on the completely opposite diagonal angle to what the actual image is, but I digress. It works, so it works, and I've decided it works. Lumpy bit there, makes it look all gummy. That's ready for painting. Alright, I've decided this section's going to be blue, this section is going to be grey, and this section's going to be yellow. Why have I decided that? I have no idea, but I've decided that's how this is going to work, and so it's how it's getting done. In fact, I might just, for the sake of highlighting the frog, have all around the frog yellow. Yes, that's right, my yellow is dirty. Thank you for noticing. Cyan, down. Well, I call it cyan. I assume it's cyan. I actually have not confirmed if it is in fact cyan. I don't know how I would go about confirming that it's cyan, but I haven't done it, so it's relevant. It kind of looks like I've drawn someone with blonde hair. Like I've just added blonde hair to the top of my frog for no reason. But we all know there's a reason. Creative license. That's what we're calling the reason. Don't you forget about me. Perfect. Don't you love it? Absolutely marvelous. So I'm adding some black smudging to some sections to make it darker. I don't think it'll make much difference at the later points, but I'll find a way to make it make a difference. Or I won't. Either way. Now we're going to do the actual frog, and then we're going to finish the background, because I am going to paint over the entire background in greens. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm going to wait for it to dry. This entire mouth needs to be done in grey. This isn't going as well as I want it to. Definitely not going as well as I want it to. Cut me some slack, guys. It's the first time I've drawn a frog. Yep, we're calling that good enough. Now we're coloring this under section with a nice dark color. Yay! Now I've never actually done a lighting study, so you know. I'm sure everything is perfect and completely accurate. Now that entire frog is more of a grey-green than I own. Don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. But I can start by painting its eyes black, because that is going to take several coats to get good. Now I'm going to do the background, because I've got to wait for that stuff to dry anyway. Some patches of grass are a bit lighter. Green 1 is done. Time for green 2. Green 2 is not as dark as I expected. Green 3 is going to have to fix that after. Actually, I could add some black to this to darken it up a bit. Add some texture. There we go. Some extra texture. I can go over that again with the greens after. Ignore the toes for a minute because this section has to dry. I'll start with the mouth. We'll start with the mouth, I suppose. Admittedly, the mouth is one of the more intimidating parts for me because I'm not exactly sure how to go about the color. I know it needs some pink, but I don't know how to go about adding the right amount of pink to creamy color. Probably should have done pink first. I think I'm going to go over all the shadowing with black, all the shadowing on the green parts in black so that I can paint the green parts grey. Alright, now I want to get some grey everywhere. That's my grey layer. I think I'm going to do all the toes first because they're a bright color and I'm less likely to forget what's supposed to be bright colored and what's supposed to be green if I do the toes first. I'm hoping that adding all of this yellow will make the orange brighter when I paint on the orange over top. Fingers crossed. Or well, toes. Let's start adding the orange. The orange might take 2 coats in some areas. The blue is hard. I don't know exactly how to do that for optimal result. We're going to do the background greens first so that I can test them out and work out what I'm going to put here. Bang. I just realized it's been forever since I last spoke, and I don't remember when that was. Wait, it's when I announced I was doing the background. That's fine. That's not too long ago. Now I decided there isn't enough detailed lines inside of this grass, so I'm adding more black. And then I'll go over it with the green next time. What I've concluded from using all the greens on the background is that it's going to be really hard to get the right shade of green for the frog. I don't think this is going to do it. So I'm going to do a shade and then I'm going to go over it with grey. That's too thick, too thick. That's something. I feel like adding the blue will make it slightly grayer and then I can add another green. This paper is not designed for this many layers. I don't know how I feel about this. Probably doesn't need too much more work. But I'm gonna keep touching it up anyway. Alright, this is almost done. Just gotta paint a layer of green on top of all this grass. And then I'll just about be able to call it done. Of course it won't be done until I add a little bit more blue onto these blue parts. One more layer of grey around the eyes. And we're done. 2906 2026. Alright. Alright. And that's my second draw along done. It's the first time I've ever painted a frog before. I think I did pretty well for a first time, although looking at it in the reflection, it's very dopey-eyed. Look at those eyes. That's, well, it's certainly something. A very special something. I think today we've learnt that I need to practice drawing circles and spheres, especially of the same size next to each other. And you probably should too. Well, that's the end of this video. Here's a better photo of the finished piece. And bye!